News Network, Radyo Ronda, DZRL Batac, member kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Good morning, Philippines! Good morning, Department of Education! Good morning, mga ka-GS! Good morning, Kailian! I am your friend, Aileen Arambon.
Good morning, Ma'am Eileen. I am your friend, Jeneline B. Asuncion. Welcome to the new segment of our station dubbed as GATA, Gameng, Sarsarita. These blended words signify our goal of bringing valuable information and insights that will surely be of help to our listeners, particularly the teachers, the administrators, learners, and parents.
Indeed, Ma'am Jenny, we will not just be giving mere talk, but crisp exchange of ideas gathered from research and also from personal testimonies of teachers, administrators, and learners.
Our topic for today and the next 2 Saturdays will focus on formative and summative assessment.
Of course, we will first discuss the theoretical framework and principles of formative and summative assessment. Before we begin, may we listen to this.
Hello, Sir David. Naimbag nga aldaw mo, sir.
Naimbag nga aldaw mo, Sir Rogin.
Ay, sir, adalang ko maiti damagek. Panggap iti may isang estudyante tayo dito'y pagadalan tayo, sir, ni Andre.
Naawan, sir. Anat panggap kanya na, sir?
Madanagan nga rod, sir, at i-review iti records ko, sir. Makita ka na bababa amin iti assessment na kanyak, sir. Iti quizzes na, ken pati iti performance na, sir. Damagek lang ko man, no, kasta kadimot laing iti kasasaan na yan ta subject mo, sir.
Ay, kat agparparis sa nga rodin asar ti sitwasyon. Maobserbar ko mat nga dahito yung ubingket. Mauawanan ti interest mo at kadagiti lesson. Ken makita nga medyo nababamod dagiti scores na ti assessment mi. So, kasanor ti anang niya nga rod, sir, ti pamayanta.
Deta nga rod ti jakam mo, sir, at deta mo ti talaga parikot ko itata, sir. Ano nga ta, sir, sino nga tat mablame ka detoy, sir? Siyak nga tat nakin basol or siyak nga tat ti ayan na daytoy no apay nababay ta assessment na when no iso na nga tat ti ayan na no apay nababa ti assessment na kanyak, sir. Ano pinagkunam, sir?
Okay, Ma'am Jenny, from the drama we just heard, who do you think is responsible for the dilemma of the teachers? Teacher Jenny, who is responsible for assessment in the classroom?
Medyo mabigat ang problema nila,
Yeah.
Ma'am Eileen. Well, classroom assessment is a joint process that involves both teachers and learners. So pareho sila responsible. Paul Black and Dylan William, 1998 professors of King's College London, cited that teachers design assessment tools and administer them to their learners. Teachers also analyze the results of assessment, give feedback and advice to their learners on what they can do to improve. And they make adjustments to teaching and learning in response to assessment evidence. On the other hand, the learners receive feedback about their learning, and they also do self-assessment and make adjustments to improve their learning.
That's correct. That means to say, Ma'am Jenny, that learners are not passive receivers of assessment.
Yes, ma'am.
They must actively participate in the process for them to make the most out of it.
Tama, ma'am. Assessment is an integral part of teaching and learning. Its purpose is to inform students regarding their learning progress and teachers regarding ways to adjust the curriculum and instruction to respond effectively to the learning needs of students. Further, it communicates to the school community the progress of students in achieving the school's expectations for student learning, as well as course-specific learning goals. Assessment results must be continually analyzed to improve curriculum and instruction.
And of course, Ma'am Jenny, in addition to that, no, the roles played by the teacher and learners in assessment reminds me of Lev Vygotsky, the sociocultural theory, if you remember that
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
Vygotsky viewed learning as a social process in which learners collaborate with more expert others teachers or peers to develop cognitive structures that are still in the course of maturing and which are unlikely to fully mature without interaction with others. And of course, in this regard, he distinguished between two levels of development. First, the level of actual development that the learner has already reached, the level at which the learner is capable of solving problems independently. And second, the level of potential development. This is the level that the learner is capable of reaching under the guidance of teachers or in collaboration with peers.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Teachers take the role of MKOs, or the more knowledgeable others, who provide support to learning through scaffolding techniques such as probing, asking questions, and providing feedback that assist learners to take steps to move forward through the ZPD, or the zone of proximal development. However, assessment is not unidirectional, but rather involves both teachers and students in reciprocal activity to move learning forward within a community of practice. Yung give and take, ma'am.
Yep.
This reciprocal activity is characterized by teachers and students engaged together in responding to evidence about learning, minute by minute and day by day, through the provision of scaffolding, including feedback, self-monitoring, and self-regulation on the part of students.
That's correct, Ma'am Chair. And may we not also forget the constructivist perspective.
Oo, meron pa yan,
Remember
ma'am.
that? Constructivism is basically a theory, and this is based on observation and scientific study about how people learn. It says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. Constructivist teachers incorporate the development of higher order thinking skills and of course the 21st century skills in the learning experiences of their learners, as they recognize that these are the skills that they need to possess. Moreover, constructivist teachers encourage students to constantly assess how the activity is helping them gain understanding by questioning themselves and their strategies. Students in the constructivist classroom ideally become expert learners. This gives them ever-broadening tools to keep learning.
Indeed, Ma'am Eileen, tama ka. Constructivism transforms the student from a passive recipient of information to an active participant in the learning process, guided by the teacher. Students construct their knowledge actively rather than just mechanically ingesting knowledge from the teacher or the textbook.
Oh, you know, Ma'am Jenny, how I wish all our learners will take their role seriously to facilitate their learning.
Yes, ma'am. Sana nga.
Yeah. Moving on, we will now discuss the philosophy of assessment. Collaboration is essential in today's classroom, not only as an instructional strategy and as a way to build relationships, but also as a way to form assessment between teachers and students. Teachers and learners must participate actively in the assessment process so that all of them will achieve success.
It is important to incorporate a variety of assessments to interest the needs of all students rather than the majority of a class. Students can provide input and insight as to what they want to be assessed and compromise with the teacher to create assessment that is equal and fair. Medyo badugo, pero teachers need to provide for individual differences even in assessment.
Okay? You know, in order for them to do that, Teacher Jenny, they need to identify the multiple intelligences of the students
Tama, ma'am.
so that they can create an environment that the students feel comfortable, and so they can also maximize students' learning potential. And you know, through this one, they can also fit their assessment methods to their inclinations.
Yes, ma'am. Teachers have both the right and the responsibility to adapt learning experiences so that students may benefit more fully from instruction. In other words, The responsibility of the teacher is to assess the needs of the students in the classroom in order to know the best way a student can achieve success.
Ito naman, this is connected to the next philosophy of assessment, which states that assessment needs to be used as information to guide future learning and not for the purpose of giving grades. We sense that there is a great focus on summative assessment in the classroom. After all, grades provide many students with motivation.
Yes, ma'am.
However, we believe that in turn this motivation by grades can be detrimental to many students. And to explain, many students get anxiety and get added stress.
Ay,
Ang
talaga?
hirap naman yung stress na yun. From different forms of assessment. You know why? Because of the need to obtain high grades.
Lalo na pag na-pressure ni parent, ano?
Tama. Because of this, we believe that assessment should be performed in a way where stress is easy to handle. And furthermore, we believe that assessment needs to be engaging. We believe in order to reduce this stress, it is essential to move away from traditional forms of assessment and include assessment such as contracts, portfolios, as well as providing plenty of choice for students.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Especially ngayong pandemya, kailangan natin yan.
Tama?
We should not assess only for the purpose of giving grades, but most of all, for the improvement of the teaching-learning process.
Okay. So with this theoretical and philosophical basis of assessment we just discussed, Ma'am Jenny, I know that the problems of the teachers presented before the beginning of our discussion will be solved. Yung problema nila Sir Roji at saka si Sir Dave, no?
Yes, ma'am.
But before we end our discussion, may we hear the takeaways and of course testimonies of an administrator, a teacher, and a learner. So may we call Dr. Ryan Dulig, the principal from Banna, Ilocos Norte, about his takeaway from our discussion and assessment. Sir Ryan! Good morning, Sir Ryan.
Good morning, Ma'am Ivy.
Okay, so what is your takeaway from our discussion and assessment, Sir? Doc Ryan? Go ahead.
Our assessment in this new normal is based on the Deputy Order number 31 series of 2020, which is the interim guidelines for assessment and grading in light of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Our school and the PMDL or the Business Modular Distance Learning, we follow the written words along with the performance tasks in different disciplines. Every 2 weeks, along with the module, which is performance tasks which are integrated to each other along with the rubric. Written tests are also given as a review of the basic and for planning purposes. But prior to that is the construction of the table of specification. And weekly in that form are given to parents, including distribution and retrieval, group chat for those who have gadgets and internet connection, text and call for those who have a phone. At the moment, we are not allowed to for a home visit. So I hope that sooner or later we can have so that we can reach those learners that have any connection. And we have also hard day. We will see if it is done such as we show the parents how they fare, the learners how they fare in the modality that they are using. And of course, we have the portfolio showcase of the 2 weeks and of the math for quarters. We did this assessment even though we are in this situation so that we can see how learners progress even in this new normal to achieve our goals that education has on ID.
Thank you so much, Sir Ryan, for participating in our radio program. God bless you, Doc Ryan.
Thank you so much.
Naku, Ma'am Eileen, tingnan mo si Sir Ryan, ginagawa nila yung non-traditional form of assessment.
Yeah. Continuous pa rin kasi yung paggawa ng mayan for assessment. Depende talaga sa purpose. So again, thank you to Sir Ryan. May we
Yes, ma'am.
have another guest, Mama Jenny?
Yes, Yes, ma'am. I will call Sir Wilfredo Bonagua, Master Teacher 1 of Baligat Elementary School, and let us see his, or let us listen to his perspective also
Okay.
as a teacher. Kanina, school head. Ngayon naman, part ng teacher.
Okay. Good. So, I think Mr. Bonaga is on the line now.
It's ringing, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, Sir Willie. Good morning.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning to you.
Oh, Sir Willie, may we know your role in assessment? Bilang guro, ano ba yung role mo, sir?
Yes, ma'am. So, good morning to our listeners and friends. Thank you for this opportunity that I can share my testimony on assessment because I play an important role in assessment since I am the one who is designing assessment tools and I am also the one implementing them. My role doesn't stop there. I also analyze the result of assessment and give feedback to my learners. The giving of feedback is a challenge to me now that we deliver learning remotely. I may not be able to give immediate feedback, but I see to it that I give specific and constructive feedback to my learners so that they will be able to sustain their good performance or they're going to strive harder to perform better.
Wow! Ang
Yes,
gan...
ma'am, because learning never stops. So through teaching and assessing learning.
Wow, saludo naman ako sa iyo, Sir Willie. Napakaganda ng practice mo. Nag-give feedback to our learners. Kudos to you and keep that good practice, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, sir. Salamat. Bye-bye, sir.
Wow. Thank you so much to our teacher from Baligat Elementary School, Ma'am Jenny. That's Mr. Wilfredo Bonagua. May we also have Mr. Andrew Salvador to share his takeaway in today's discussion.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We have also perspective, the perspective of a student naman ngayon. Ano naman kaya ang masasabi ni Sir Andrew?
As a student, assessment plays a vital role in my part. It has become a mirror for me to look at and review my performances in class. In fact, the assessment feedbacks given by my teachers serve as my motivation to pursue more and do better. Assessment gives me points to improve, which is good, so I could develop myself more.
Narinig naman natin, ma'am, si Sir Andrew. Tama naman yung kanyang sinabi, ano, ma'am, that he has a role to play also in assessment. You've heard it right, mga ka-GS. Assessment is everybody's business, and we need to perform our roles for teaching and learning to succeed. Thank you to our participants and listeners.
And of course, for our classmates in Language and Literature 208, you are requested to make a reflection on your role in assessment and how you can best play it.
That ends our discussion for today. We are your friends on air, Jeneline Asuncion.
And of course, Eileen Arambaon. May we not forget to greet our professor, Ma'am Jenny.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Dr. Bert Gameng.
Hello, Sir Bert. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's a great experience.
Yes.
It's a unique experience
Napakaganda,
for
ma'am.
Ma'am Jenny. So again, Ma'am Jeneline Asuncion and Eileen Arambaon, see you again on our next episode of
GATA, Gameng Sarsarita.
Only here at RPN DZRL Radio Ronda Batac with the supervision of our station manager, Mr. Rodriguez Rod Sajan, and our technical control engineer, Mark Tuliao. Again, thank you very much and God bless us all.